Alright, in this video I want to talk to you a little bit about how to save parameters for a toolpath file. And what will happen is MasterCAM will have some default settings in your toolpaths when you first install a new seat of MasterCAM on your computer. And a lot of times you find yourself going in every time you do that toolpath and changing those default parameters. And what I want to do is show you how to create default parameters of your own that your shop may use on a regular basis. So let's start out, we'll sketch something out with wireframe. We'll just do rectangular shapes. We'll pick center. And we'll just make a 5 by 2.5 rectangle. Alright, we're going to go up here to fillet entities, fillet chain. We're going to round these corners. That looks good. We'll put a circle in the middle. Why not? Okay, so here's the part that we need to machine, and the first thing that I want to do is I want to go in and face this particular piece of material. So I'm going to go to Mill, Face, and I'm just going to chain around that geometry. For my tool, I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick a 1/2 inch flat end mill. Okay, perfect example. By default with MasterCAM, you can see that as we do this facing operation, it comes to these endpoints and then it does a zigzag motion. So it's only cutting in one way. All right, now that's going to produce a nice surface finish. It's going to look good, but it's a little more time consuming because the blue line is the cut line. This yellow line is actually a retract line, and you can see that retract when I move it up like that. You can see that it moves up, retracts back, and then cuts again. So if we're okay with the surface finish alternating as it goes back and forth, we can actually turn this yellow line into another cut as it comes back and forth. Much like if you were cutting your lawn and you were just running your lawnmower back and forth. You wouldn't drive your lawnmower down your lawn and then pick the lawnmower up, carry it back over, and then cut another row. That would be pretty counterproductive. The reason this is an option in CNC machining, though, is because when that end mill's cutting in this direction, it has a certain lay to how it produces the chip, and it provides consistency by cutting in the same direction, and it'll produce a surface finish that's more reasonable than if you have a surface finish that lays one direction this way and then lays back the opposite way when it comes back across. So let's take a look at that parameter. Under facing, we're going to go to cut parameters, and you'll see under style it's called one way. And what I like to do is I like to switch this to zigzag. And zigzag is going to give you something more like what you would do with your lawnmower on your lawn. You would cut back and forth. Okay? And you can see we have straight lines connecting them. Another little trick that I'll do is I'll come down here to move between cuts, and I'll turn that to high-speed loops. And then when I refresh that, you can see now we kind of rotate around as we go back the other direction. Okay? So how do we tell MasterCAM to remember these parameters so that I don't have to change these every single time that I produce a facing toolpath? Well, we go back into the parameters tab and we make all the changes that we want in this particular cut parameters page, and then we simply come up here and select save parameters to default file. I'm going to click that. It says the library was updated successfully. Click OK. Click the green check, and now every time that I bring in that facing toolpath, we'll do another one, same place, and I go to my cut parameters, it remembers those basic defaults: zigzag, high-speed loops. Okay, so I hope that helps. One other thing that I'll mention is that this stock to leave on floors is another one that I typically turn to 0, and then I'll save those parameters. Click OK. All right, you're all set.